Hey guys. So I'm trying to think of the best way that I can do this. The last video that you just watched was on October 24th, 2022. The next real video of substance takes place on November 6th, 2022. So there's a bit of a jump there. I do have some very minor videos and stuff that really just kind of, show us living life and being ourselves. And one minor thing, one slightly more than minor thing. So I'll kind of cover that. I've also got some meticulous notes, stuff from that time period, stuff that we didn't record, but I've got written down. So on 10/26, so October 26th, she experienced sleep paralysis for the first time. If you guys have never heard of that or have never experienced it or whatever, there's a lot of like cultural myth and creepypastas that are attached to it. But basically, it's the opposite of sleepwalking. It's in sleepwalking, the chemical that your brain produces to paralyze your body and say, hey, you're dreaming, don't actually go running. That chemical stops being produced by your brain. So sleep paralysis means that your brain is still sleeping, but you wake up and your body is paralyzed. Or no, your body is still producing the chemical instead of stopping the production of the chemical. So like you get paralyzed, you can't speak very well, so on and so forth. So go look it up if you're interested, but that actually happened to her. Just don't believe all the hype. It's not anything, it's just a medical thing. It's not, October 31st, I've got this really funny picture of Brittany sleeping surrounded by dogs. And I kind of sneak up on her and do it while she's sleeping, so it's pretty cute. That the moment when you'll notice that the video that I have of her sleeping and with it surrounded by dogs, we started to experience not only swelling, but pitting in her legs, which if you don't know what that is, it's where you can push your finger into the leg and instead of swelling, popping back up, it's literally like it just stays indented. It means that her body is holding fluid and it's not, the circulation and blood flow is not very good at all. Which means that kind of freaked us out. Like, okay, hey, if you've got pitting in your legs, we need to get off of hospice because at this point we're still on. And we need to go to the doctors. So November 1st, one of her friends, our new friends that we had just made at this point, if you remember a couple of videos ago, we had just went out with this fellow church couple and got to know them pretty well. And immediately Brittany goes into the hospital. The girl is distraught, to say the least, and is very emotional. And of course, Brittany comes back, and now she's trying to, she's just, coming over and spending time with Brittany and interacting. And one of the things she gets there is this little gift. And I'll let Brittany, you'll see the gift, and Brittany's so happy and excited over it, and I'll let Brittany show that. And that's on November 1st. November 2nd, we wind up, this is or directly after the gift incident, we go to the hospital. We get off of hospice, we go to a doctor, not hospital. We were waiting on blood work to determine the cause of the swelling. Brittany developed pneumonia. And this is when we go to the doctor, and our doctor can't feel we also get x-rays to see, like, okay, the first time that we found this tumor, it was done through x-ray, which is bizarre. Like, you're not supposed to find tumors through x-rays. Those are stuff you use CTs for. So just just to see, this doctor runs an x-ray and can't find it. So he can't feel it, he can't find it, and he's like, all right, we're getting some CT scans. So, November 4th, I get some pictures or I get some video of the scans that we were doing. We mentioned that we couldn't feel the tumor, which still boggles my mind at this point. We just couldn't. No one else could either. So we went for scans, and we did wind up getting a CT, and I caught the footage. They let me be in the room with her while she was getting the CT. I had to wear a little lead shield, but I was filming. And then after those scans, I tell her, "Hey, babe, we might want to fill in your Marco Polo friends that you're not dead." So we kind of go through the motions, and we do this thing. It's about a 16-minute long video, but I've got it for you. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of give you guys a heads up where we're coming from and where we're going. So I'll let the current us, the present us's show and do that story.
Kill.
Say it again, baby.
It's a plant that I can't kill.
Oh. Say hey to Alden. I'm gonna send this video to her.
It's a plant that I can't kill.
How's it feel, babe?
My arm hurts.
Your arm hurts. Well, here we go. Well, not yet, but you know, it sounds like it's going. But wow, that's actually kind of, what is that?
That's the machine.
That's the machine. Is that what it always does?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, look, I can see it spinning. Hold on, I'm gonna zoom in. Yeah, look at it. Hey guys, I am not really sure where to even begin. But I guess the best place would be the last message I sent you. They sent us home, or I sent us home on hospice, and we did the thing. We got home, and all the family was around, and it was a really good time. Really good time. I say good time, but I mean, like, everybody came. Like, just everybody wanted to see her, and it was so awesome. And right whenever she everybody left home, the last person to see her was her mom and her sister. And they came out of the room, and they told me that she was asking for me, that she kicked them out, and she was asking for me. Up until this point, she's been non-responsive, so I assumed that it was a couple of words. I walked in there. She proceeds to chew my butt out for having all these people in her house, and like, let me rest. And I woke up, after that happened, and then I woke up the next morning to her walking around completely naked, trying to get water out of the fridge. The hospice people said that there's a thing called rallying, which is what happens whenever the person's near the end. They get this burst of energy, and then it goes away. It never went away. She started eating again. Her stomach started working. She's now back to eating completely full meals. Her cognitive function completely came back. She is 110%, and now she's sitting here next to me complaining about every time I talk about her almost dying. So, guys, here's Brittany.
Hi, guys. I'm alive. God saved me.
Literally. Absolutely literally.
God saved me.
So, you might want to say something other than that, the way they don't think that you've reverted to an infantile state.
I have pneumonia right now. I think the craziest thing is I woke up, I had no memory of what happened. I don't remember going into the hospital. I don't remember arguing with Darren about eating. I remember bits and pieces of the hospital and people coming to see me, but it's like a blur. I'm still trying to piece everything together. I'm still trying to talk to different people and like figure out what exactly happened. I think the craziest thing is that I have pneumonia right now and I'm miserable. But
And you're also swelling. Your legs are still swelling too.
yes,
That's
so
another goofy thing we got to work out.
From my waist down, I'm swelling to the point where it hurts to walk, and I can't. Like, I have to keep my feet elevated, and it's really bad. But we have no idea what's going on. They stopped me cold turkey on all 20 of my medications that I was on for cancer, and all the side effects. The crazy God story is...
You ready to tell this one?
Yeah. I started waking up, and I was really surprised why people were so excited to see me, because I had no idea that I was literally on hospice. Like, Darren didn't tell me. I didn't know.
Well, in my defense, you were still like very disoriented, and you weren't figuring.
I couldn't read. I couldn't write.
Oh yeah, that was funny. You were trying to pick up your phone, like trying to text people, and like she would type like a bunch of little words or whatever, and not type anything. And she's like, "My phone's not working."
I couldn't read. I couldn't write. I couldn't text. But my family spent about a week and a half here, and it was exhausting, but it was amazing. One of the God things that came out of it was that I haven't spoken to the Evans family, my father's family, since I graduated. We had a really big falling out. They were abusive in several forms, and in the hospital, everything was completely mended. And
well, not in the hospital. After you got out of the hospital.
After I was out of the hospital, everything was completely mended. I spent a week and a half with the Evans family and had the absolute best time that I've ever had in my entire life with them. We are back to better relationships than we've ever had before. And it was when all the family left that I was resting, and Darren came in there, and he was crying. And he goes, "Brittany, it's been nearly 2 weeks now, and you've been off of all cancer meds. We haven't checked on the tumor. We have no idea what's going on." And it was the first time that I realized that the entire time my family was here, I hadn't felt any tumor symptoms. I hadn't felt any pain anywhere. And this is like a grapefruit-sized tumor, and I'm 89 pounds. Like, it's significant. You can feel it. Like, it's always causing pain. And so Darren is sitting there crying, and I realize that I'm not in pain. And so, unprompted from God, I hear God say, "Tell him to touch your side." And so I tell him, "Touch my side."
I got it from here.
Okay.
This is my side anyway. So I poke and prod. I push, and then I push a little bit harder, and then I start to really try to feel. Pneumonia sucks. And then I really start to kind of push a little bit and try to feel. And then I feel for the blood clot as well, because that's always been
right in the middle of my chest. Like, you can feel the blood clot. Like, you can literally see the bump and like feel it and everything. There's nothing there.
There's nothing there. I don't feel anything. And
this is a guy who knows the tumor very well, like knows the shape of the tumor.
Yeah, my physical language is, my love language is touch. I can't help it.
So, like, he knows the way that it changes my ribs and moves my ribs because it's so big.
It would be like touching a rock under her skin, and it's just not there. So
we went to the doctor, and the doctor palpated all over me, and he didn't feel anything either. And so we ended up getting a chest x-ray for the pneumonia. And a chest x-ray was actually how we found the original tumor.
Which you're not normally supposed to do that, because they pick up bone, right? That's what x-rays do. But
the tumor was so big, you could see it on an x-ray. And on the last chest x-ray we got, there was no sign of the grapefruit-sized tumor. You couldn't see it on the x-ray. And so this past Friday, we went to the hospital and
for CT scans.
And we're waiting on the results of the CT scans, and basically just waiting on the CT results to prove the miracle that we believe that God has worked, because nobody feels anything in my side anymore. There's no pain. There's no pressure. There's no hardness. There's nothing there. Doctors can't feel it. We can't feel it. Friends and family have felt it. And so we're just waiting on the CT results and waiting on seeing what's going on with the swelling.
Yeah, we got blood work for the swelling too. Her legs are like the size of something.
Massive.
They're big. Yeah, she's got some.
Ow. Don't poke me. It hurts.
Sorry. But I didn't want to leave you. We didn't want to leave you guys hanging. It had been almost 2 weeks now, 3 weeks now, something like that. It's been a while. Everything's been such a blur. I mean,
still have no memory of a lot of stuff, so I'm no help.
And I grieved my wife. I called funeral homes and I have plans. I know what I'm going to do with her now when she dies. Well, if you were to die, which is not happening, because I'm saying that it's not happening, I have plans. So I was in a really weird place. I'm still struggling with that. I need therapy. There's no ands, if, ors, or buts now. I need therapy. So that's definitely in the future.
His wife die and come back to life, and watched a tumor disappear.
Yeah, my brain is scrambled. So
I hear some of the things that he's gone through and the stuff that he went through in the hospital, and I don't know how he did it.
One step at a time, baby. That's really all it was. God literally pulled me through kicking and screaming. That's the only way that he could have done it.
But I'm alive.
And we didn't want to leave you guys hanging. I've been kind of poking at, like, hey, we should get back on Marco Polo and let them know. And I think she's been kind of a little scared of it, but I wasn't going to let her go too long because you guys deserve to know. And I wanted you guys to know because y'all are awesome.
So I'm alive. I don't know how much I'm going to be on here. I still feel like crap, but I'm alive, and we believe that God has taken away the cancer, and we're waiting on the results, and I have no idea what I'm going to do.
Neither do I.
Yeah. We took off the entire month of November for our blogging clients, and we'll be emailing them on Monday, letting them know that as of now, we will not be able to continue doing the business until I have completely healed and until we figure out what it is that we're supposed to do with this story, because I still believe that God's calling us to share the story, and there's so many videos from our journey that we haven't shared. And now, if all of this has come to God healing me completely, there's even more to tell, and there's even more to witness for him, and that comes before any kind of business endeavor. And me coming back to life is kind of
huge.
Yeah. So we're gonna
I'm not kidding. Like, she was non-responsive. Like,
we're gonna take it easy for a while.
I was changing her diaper. Sorry, we're just gonna her briefs. I was changing her briefs, making sure she was clean. I was trying to make sure that everything was fine. And then she calls me in and chews me out. Just non-responsive to 100%. I'm awake. And then she starts wanting donuts.
Donuts was the first thing I wanted. So I ate donuts.
Donut holes, specifically. Donut holes.
Yeah. I only ate 2 of them, though. But then eventually I got back to everything.
Oh, and guys, by the way, oh gosh.
Guys, I've gained, I'm back to like 120 pounds now.
Like, she's been making up for lost time. Like, if you guys want to lose weight, do not eat chicken Alfredo. Like, don't. It is devastating.
I've been eating chicken Alfredo nonstop, and I gained like 20 pounds in 3 days.
No, it wasn't 3. It was 10 pounds in 3 days because hospice was weighing her. We were still in hospice, and they were bringing the scale in occasionally. And like, she would get on. I'm like, oh, she's up to 106 pounds. Like, oh, that's great, baby. And then like 3 days later, they brought in the scale again. It was like
116.
No, it was 107. No, sorry, 106 to 117. That's what it was. Yep. Yeah. So you gained literally 11 pounds in 3 days.
Yep, 11 pounds in 3 days.
And you can see it. It's kind of in her cheeks now. But, I mean, she was rail thin. Like,
89 pounds.
89 pounds, man.
There's pictures of me that look very, very scary.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Well, we're going to let you guys get...
I need to take more meds.
And naps.
Yeah, I need naps. Okay. I'm alive, guys. Hi.
Yeah. Thank you guys for everything. Thank you guys for all your kind words and everything. Because some of you kept me sane. And, well, and being able to talk to you guys was, it was something. But I'm glad I could. And in a way, during that time, messaging people and telling people what was going on was not only, it was cathartic in a way. So telling you guys what had happened was it was really helpful. Even if you're like, well, we didn't help you. Like, you did. You really did. So, anyway, say bye, Brittany.
Bye.
Later, guys. I made mention last video that I was going to talk about what happens when the thing that you believe turns out to not be true. And when you believe in faith that something has happened or is going to happen, and it fails. What happens? I don't know. I'll be honest, I don't remember the next video. So I'm going to come on here and I'm going to talk about it. And I'm just going to say, Brittany held on to that belief, and we both believed it. And you saw me struggling with my own faith in the belief of that. And why would you believe so strongly something that seems so obviously untrue? And the only thing I can answer that question with is, when you're in this situation, you hold on to everything. You just do. And that faith is what kept her alive this long. I'm 100% sure of it. In the next video, you'll see us realizing that the tumor has grown, that despite being unable to be felt by anyone, it was still there, and it was bigger. And the swelling in her legs was the same thing that happened with the tree incident. It was that because the tumor was growing, it was pushing the blood clot further into the vena cava artery and stopping blood flow. It was the same thing. It was 6 months ago, round 2. It's like a nightmare. It was all back. So what do you do when faced with devastation? Realizing that your Lord is good through the ups and downs, even though bad things are happening to good people. Well, if we consider ourselves good, I guess. But bad things are happening regardless of whether or not we feel like they should, whether or not we want them to. It's all over the Bible. Habakkuk, one of my favorite. I mean, even Habakkuk has that answer for us. Job. There's all kinds of mentions in the Bible of why good or why bad exists in a world where it shouldn't happen to good people. It shouldn't happen to people at all. You might have heard me make allusion to that good things, we got miracles, just not the miracle we were expecting. Sure, Brittany being on the brink of death and having a deathbed turned around is miraculous. Let's just call it miraculous. I'm not sure if I would love to use the word resurrection. I think that's a wonderful term, being brought back from the dead, but the fact that we all mourned her and watched her literally wake up from organ failure randomly, miraculously, it was a miracle. So we did get a miracle. And we did get we got another miracle too. All those connections with her family. You want to talk about healing? Entire generations of people. Every single one of them. Forgiven and forgiving. And what does our God want us to do? It's forgive. Forgive others. you don't forgive, you can't be forgiven, or you won't be forgiven. That's scriptural. Not sure where. I have to look it up. But I know it's scriptural. And all these people just getting a second chance. You want to talk about healing? There it was. We just expected something different. So what do you do when your faith doesn't pan out, when you look at something and you see you were wrong? Read a little bit more closely. Trust a little bit more. Lean into God, not away. He's good, mighty, powerful, all-encompassing. Maybe the human was wrong, not the creator. One last note I want to leave everybody with, and this is something that I've been pondering for a long time. Let's just call it back from the dead, back from the grave, whatever. There's many instances in the Bible where we hear of people being brought back, Jesus being the obvious, right? But there's Lazarus, there's the little girl, I'm not sure if she's ever named, I can't remember. There's holy men, good men, who are resurrected all around the same time that Jesus comes back. They get a little footnote in the Bible. There were resurrections, and all kinds of crazy things were happening during that time when Jesus came back on the third day. But that was another thing. There were other people coming back. And there was also the little boy who fell out the window. He was listening to a sermon and fell out the window and died, and he was brought back. One of the things, we had all these examples of coming back to life in the Bible. But there's never any moment that describes what happens to these people afterwards. And you assume they go on to live a full life instead of being cut short. Now, what does it mean to live a full life? It means to die at the end of it. Except for in Jesus' case, where he is eternal and living. But all of these other people brought back, they all had to die again. The life or death situation that my wife faced, where she was certain to pass away, it was just a matter of time, and she came back. It was only a limited amount of time. There wasn't a promise that she would live another 60 years. She was brought back. The cancer didn't go away. She had enough time to forgive and be forgiven, to make amends. And then he called her home. Every one of those people in the Bible, they all probably wondered the same thing. Why? Why come back if I just gotta go again? That's really it. That's all I gotta say. It's not super profound. It's just, it's what happens when you look at your life and you go, how do I reconcile health and goodness in the world versus the evil I'm currently experiencing, versus the terrible that I'm currently going through? There's one more thing I wanted to say, and I honestly don't remember what it was. I'm sure it'll come back.